Hello and welcome to another Arkeys video and to a very late first impressions video on the current 2 million credit time trial challenge on Gran Turismo 7. We are at Deep Forest Raceway and we are in the 1965 Ford Mustang Shelby GT350, I think the full name is, and we are on comfort soft tires. I usually give these challenges an hour for my first impressions and then I come back for possible further improvements. In this case, I just did my hour and then I jumped into the VR to see if I could improve even further. If this is your first time watching or if you haven't already subscribed, you are certainly free to do so. It is, as always, highly appreciated. Let's jump into my first attempt. So this is Monday afternoon after I did my Race A video. That's also why there's not any Watkins Glen prize for me, but I did get the gold. A 146.978 was needed for gold when I did this, so let's just get going. My first challenge is to even get around the final corner leading on to the main straight, even though it's not really a straight. We are braking at the 150 board for turn 1. And I have watched some track guides for this, but an important thing to mention is the open rear differential. That means you can easily start a one tire fire when trying to accelerate out of the corner. So really listen to those rear tires. If it feels like the revs are just rising, you are not really going anywhere. So getting some 70-80% throttle feel into your muscle memory is really a good thing coming out of those corners, because it is crucial, especially with the two long straights. My first lap is nothing special. I'm just trying to get the feel for the car, so I'm just talking over this lap. It certainly feels like, yes, a bit of a slidey car, but also rather predictable once you get to know it, and it doesn't feel heavy and all that sort of stuff. Here there is a parked car just before the 150 board. I started using that as a brake marker, and that brake marker clearly didn't work for me on my first attempt because I am coming in a bit deep, but it is still a good marker because you have to brake a little bit before the 150 board, so that car is a good one to look for. My first lap is a 147.437, so that's only a silver time. We keep going, but I am going to go way too deep into turn 1. I somehow get lifted off the brake and get the car turned, so it's not a complete disaster, and I am still ahead. We are coming through the infield, the twisty infield on this track. Yeah, I'm all the way down to first gear. You don't need that. Second gear is plenty, and now we are coming into the final corner here. I managed to get the car stopped, but I get way too much wheel spin. And you can see the hesitation on the rev bar there. You are just losing speed as the car is fighting for traction, so be aware of that. A 147 flat, still only a silver, and it's all about just really timing the rotation of the car coming around this corner. You can see now Jetta is just pulling away. I'm just flooring it, trying to keep up, getting a lot of wheel spin, and then I cut the corner. So we are jumping out to have a look. Just outside gold after 5 minutes. So this is lap number 3. This is going to be a fair bit faster. Coming into turn 1, I'm using a bit of first gear. I think you can do it only in second gear, but I was maybe coming in a bit too hot, and you can see I'm getting plenty of inside wheel spin up the hill. Here it's just about trying to get the car rotated just before entering the following corner, really be ahead of where you are going. This is just feathering the throttle around this long corner, trying to get a good exit. Still a lot of wheel spin on the inside tire there. Just trying to sort of get a semi-drift, semi-coast through that corner, and yeah, I was actually turning in a bit too early there and flooring it too much, so you could still hear the tires spinning. Braking just before the 150 board at that car I mentioned, and yeah, this is okay, and this time I think I managed to not just floor it out of the hairpin. and this is a 146.149. And this time you can see I get the rotation done a bit too soon, and now I'm trying to accelerate whilst still trying to get around the corner, and that just causes the inside wheel to spin one more time. Can we make it through the first bit? Oh, that was really close to a corner cut. It's all about trying to get a good exit out of this corner leading into that first tunnel, and let's just get around this long corner. Just be patient. You can sort of get on the power just as you enter that second tunnel. Here I'm braking just where the track sort of sticks out, that apex there, and braking just after the change of the tarmac color there, and let's get on to the back straight. Still a bit too much wheel spin. I slightly overshoot the final hairpin this time. Can we get the car turned? You can see I really had to be patient there, so that is going to cost me some time. But we are just about sneaking into the 45s, a 45.984, and I tried to keep going, but after a few unsuccessful laps I decided to back out and just have a look. So we've done 15 minutes and I have got my goal, but we keep going, and it will soon start to get more tricky with less improvements, actually really tiny improvements. And I'm almost coming in too hot this time, but I managed to get the car rotated, and that might even help slightly on my exit out of there. A bit scruffy through this section, but at least I get a decent exit into the first tunnel, and I am up on my time here, so let's just try not to bin it. Once again, just be patient. I am beginning to notice that I have to avoid all that wheel spin. Braking just at that apex, sliding down through this corner, braking just after the tarmac color change, and can we sneak on to the power? You can see I kept the power at around 75% until I could feel the car was going. Here my line is a bit off, but I managed to keep the wheel spin in check this time. So we are down to a 145.785. I am going to elegantly park the car and back out. I've done almost half an hour now, and we are slowly improving. We've got a very small improvement coming in here, and we keep it going. And this is lap number 5 in that same session, coming around the final corner. And yeah, certainly doing a better job on getting the power down out of that exit, but that was even smaller improvement. But all right, let's go out and have a look. How much time have we got left? We've got 13 minutes left of that first hour, and we actually managed to get in a few good runs before the first hour is up. I am coming in a bit hot this time, but managed to get the car rotated. You can see the Ghost is running away, but I get the car sort of squared off for that corner. Let's just try to thread the needle here and get a decent exit. Just go as wide as I dare, coming around the long right-hander. I'm just trying to mimic what the car is doing, what the Ghost is doing. Here I was a bit too impatient. You can hear all the wheel spin. I get a decent line back onto the main straight. A bit too much wheel spin still. And I am still doing my best to fight the wheel spin on the final hairpin. Yeah, you could hear almost no wheel spin there. We are going across the line in a 45.567, and unfortunately I completely overshoot turn 1, so I decide just to park the car instead and see what we've got left. We've got 10 minutes left. We are jumping back in. This is the final go of the hour. Coming around turn 1, it's all about timing the release of the brake. That makes the rear of the car come round, gives you some extra rotation, and you can come up the hill. We are keeping it together also through the final corner, and my first impressions final lap within the hour is a 1:45.517. But now quickly to the VR headset. And it actually took some time for me to get up to speed in VR. The tach is out of sight. The speedo is hard to read in this 60s car, so I had to do it by ear, and I kept hitting the rev limiter. But this was my first improvement of my time at 1:45.478. Now braking at the 150 board, releasing the brake, trying to time it just right, and make sure the car is settled before slowly getting back onto the power, trying not to make too much wheel spin up the hill, and just coasting around these corners. You can also see when you let go of the brake, the car almost rotates by itself, and we make it into the tunnel, and just feathering the throttle, mostly coasting around that corner, back on the power, a bit too much wheel spin still, and looking for that apex, just gently on the brakes, coasting down the hill, back on the power as much as I dare, and now onto the final straight. Not too much wheel spin, easy on the power, and now we just have to make our way through the tunnel, and yeah, this car is awesome in VR. I'm not sure I'm faster in VR in this one, but it's a lot of fun. We are looking for the car just before the 150 board, braking all the way down to first gear, getting the car rotated. Just be patient, back up to second, and don't floor it. Ease on the power, and now we are making our way towards the finish line, just trying to take this bendy straight as possible, clipping that inside there, not run wide on the outside, and we are going to go across the line in a 1:45.322. So this is where I'm ending this now. I think I maybe spend another hour in VR, and this is a decent time. I'm certainly safe for gold. Maybe there's a bit more in it, but we're getting close to Christmas, and I am running out of time a bit. At least I hope you enjoyed the video, found it entertaining, maybe even somewhat useful. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye bye.